I watched my best friend get beat up and did nothing. 15 years later, the guilt still eats me alive. I was 14 and had a best friend who was a year younger than me. We were inseparable. One day, we were hanging out at my house when my mom asked us to go to the store for her. We hopped on our bikes and headed out. On the way, we passed by a house where a group of older kids were hanging out. They started taunting us, calling us names, and throwing things at us. We tried to ignore them and keep going, but they wouldn't let up. My friend, who was always more confident than me, decided to stand up to them. He got off his bike and started yelling back at them. I was scared and didn't want to get involved, so I stayed on my bike and watched from a distance. The older kids didn't like being talked back to, and they started getting aggressive. My friend was holding his own, but there were too many of them. I could see he was in trouble, but I was frozen with fear. I watched as they started pushing him around and hitting him. I wanted to help, but I was too scared. Eventually, they got bored and left him alone. He was bruised and bleeding, but he was okay. He got back on his bike and we went home. He never said anything about me not helping him, but I could tell he was hurt by it. We didn't hang out as much after that, and eventually we drifted apart. I still think about that day and how I let my fear get in the way of helping my friend. I wish I could go back and do things differently.